Hey friends, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. I have not so common breakfast with me today. I decided to meal prep and do something on the sweeter side just because I was feeling like switching it up a little bit. I have done this on the channel before. These are essentially just overnight oats, if you couldn't tell. I use like an old peanut butter jar to make the oats because it's just like, it's got the perfectly large enough top that you can just scoop everything in there and it doesn't make a mess. So pro tip for you there. But these PB&J oats I did not like make from my own recipe. I got it from the plantyou cookbook, and I'm sure if you're on TikTok or anything like that, you know who plantyou is. And this book is pretty awesome. I will say I'm not a big overnight oats person. I was never a fan of them because I can never get the texture quite right. I like the texture to be thick, almost like pudding, but the base recipes in this book have always been spot on. Like, it never fails. So I always go to this book whenever I need to make overnight oats. Always works out. Like I said, I did the PB&J oats, so basically there's peanut butter in here, but the J or the jelly jam, whatever it may be, are actually just strawberries. And the recipe calls for you to just dump everything into the jar and put it in the fridge and leave it out and leave it overnight. But what I decided to do, since I work from home, I made the oats minus the peanut butter and the strawberries, and I just topped it into the jar in the morning. Just because I feel like when I put the peanut butter in here overnight, it gets really, really cold and then it starts to solidify and get a little bit too gloopy, so that when I mix it, I get giant globs of peanut butter on my spoon and it's not a good time. And then the strawberries, they kind of get a little watered down. And it's just not my preference. So I just put those in fresh on top and I like it way better that way. And yeah, those are the oats. I'll try to show you the texture. Like, you can just see from the spoon, I just pulled the spoon up. It's very thick. It's super, super thick. And I like it that way when it's cold because it reminds me of like pudding, if that makes sense. And I really like that. And then the hit of the fresh berries. Let's give it a try. I got a perfect bite there. Like, I got the oats, which are perfectly creamy, perfectly thick to a point where it tastes like pudding to me. And then I got a little bit of the peanut butter, which it does still get solidified in this because it's so cold. The moment the peanut butter hits it, it gets a little bit more hardened. But I had a good balance there in that spoonful that I had. And then what really, really makes it for me is adding the fresh strawberries on top the morning of. It has a really good crunch to it. It has a good bite and acidity that goes against the rest of this like sort of subtle base. And I really, really, really like that. So if you do end up making this recipe, or if you end up getting this book, which I do recommend, I love this book, I reference it all the time. I do recommend putting the fruits on top in the morning if you can, because I think it makes a big difference. Hello again, friends. It is lunchtime and I have me some very, very delicious looking tacos to share with you. This was actually such a really great meal prep idea because I did this yesterday and it made a huge batch, so now I have enough for the entire week for my lunches. So highly recommend. What exactly is going on here? So I have 2 tortillas. These are from the Siete brand, or Siete. I hope I'm saying that right. But I talked about this brand in a last week's video. I tried their cassava flour tortillas. These are the almond flour tortillas, and I think I like these a little bit more because the cassava tortillas are very, very thin, and these are just a tad bit thicker. I think they're a little bit closer to corn tortillas, so I really, really like them. I think they have a bit of a nicer flavor too. So that's the tortilla, and then at the bottom you can see a little bit of a schmear. That's just vegan sour cream. I like to use the Tofutti brand because I have yet to find another brand that has like a really good texture and taste. I think the Tofutti sour cream doesn't have the best taste, but it definitely has the texture down. So it goes well once you start to add all of the other ingredients together. And then the whole meal prep part, which made this super, super easy, is I chopped up a bunch of onion and bell pepper and super firm tofu. I just cut it into like little slices. You can see it like right there, into slices that would fit perfectly into the tortilla because I knew it was going into a tortilla. So I just did all of that chopping stuff, and then I threw everything onto a sheet pan, or maybe 2 sheet pans if you don't want to overcrowd the sheet pan. And I seasoned everything up with like a taco seasoning. So I used cumin, chili powder, paprika, oregano. I threw in a little bit of mushroom seasoning because that stuff is so good. It gives things like a more meaty flavor. And I think I think that's it. Maybe salt and black pepper. Yeah, I think that's it. And then I just put it in the oven, popped it in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. And I had a whole sheet of pre-made, like fajita style kind of stuff, filling, so that I can throw it into tacos. And then right at the top, I just drizzled over some chipotle tabasco. That stuff is really good. This smells so good. I am a little afraid of trying a taco on camera, and hopefully I don't make a mess. But like I said, these tortillas are really great. They kind of look like corn tortillas, actually. They have a good body to it. That is really good. Everything has so much flavor. It's just so packed with flavor, and I think a little hit of that vegan sour cream kind of tones everything down in terms of flavor with a nice creamy base. And like I said, I really like the tortillas. I highly recommend the Siete brand. They're really good. And then of course, a little bit of heat from the hot sauce. So this is super successful, and I love that it was so easy. Again, meal prep. Threw a little bit into the microwave to just heat up and prepare the day of, if you're making like a week's worth of this. And yeah, it's great. Hello friends, I'm coming on a little bit early to explain what I'm gonna have for dinner, because after I record this bit, it is going to be a little bit hectic. I have like a little virtual holiday party that is happening, and then I also have a few appointments that I have to go to, so it's gonna be busy. I won't be able to pick up the camera as easily as I usually do. So I am actually going to put something on the screen so you can see what I got for dinner, because I am ordering. I did have like a gift card to Seamless, so I figured why not use it now, especially since it is a busy day and it was from the holiday party. So this is what I'm having for dinner. I don't exactly know what it is at the time of me speaking right now and recording this clip, but I will know by the time you see it on the screen, of course. That is all for this week's video. I appreciate you for being here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll talk to you next week.